let's jump into the interview.
What got you into ceramics?
Okay, I did it at art college. Did a bit at school, but rather sad little things really. So I wanted to go to art college. That seems to be the main thing. But then after doing a foundation course, I found I was messing about with clay all the time. And in those days you could. So it was a natural choice when I went on to do a degree.
What's the process behind your ceramics for this exhibition?
In this exhibition, well, all of it is hand-built. Partly because I have been making these in my studio, which has absolutely no ceramic equipment at all except clay. So, so that's how they come about. They're completely formed by hand, using very basic tools like you would if you were baking. So rolling out, pressing in, using bowls to drape it over, that sort of thing.
Right, so neat. So yeah, we were reading the bio that's on the table there that we've had at the exhibition, and one of the questions we had was, how does your work relate to the climate change debate?
Indeed. It was doing my work in the quarries and pressing and casting and drawing and recording that I became aware of just how many of them there are in this landscape, in the Pennine landscape, South Pennine in particular, and that they are the results of the Industrial Revolution. So when people wanted stone to build bridges, tunnels, houses, they blasted it out of the earth and used it. They used the most easily available first, and then as it got rarer they had to blast more. So, but climate change, these old ones that we're surrounded by have mainly rewilded, but the debate itself about climate change, the extraction of materials out of the earth is the biggest issue regarding climate change. My understanding of it is, and I don't claim to be an expert on climate change at all, but I'm just aware of the fact that extraction is enormous contributing factor, and obviously the ones we're surrounded by are old and small and don't impact on anything really, but they do link to the other ones in the world. So to get lithium for your mobile phone out of mines that are like 400 square miles in Bolivia and all that sort of thing, it's a huge issue. So yeah, that's how it relates. And so me recording my little neighbourhood quarries is just a small part of it, but it has made me aware in a way that I wouldn't have done before.
Absolutely.
What is your preferred method to make ceramics?
I'm really quite open-minded about methods. I think you can get stuck in methods. There are lots of things like knitting or cooking or printing. You can become obsessed with the method, and I like to think that I use the method to give voice to my feelings or issues or what the work is about really, rather than becoming obsessed with technique.
What do you use in your paintings and how do you create the textures?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because today I've been pouring gravel from said quarries into plaster of Paris and smearing it all over this canvas. So at the moment my studio is a complete mess because it's got plaster of Paris and gravel and PVA glue and tissue paper all over the place. So yeah, that's how I get the textures and then let them dry. But it is lots of different layers, really. The one behind you, the one above the quarry, which is based on drawings from above Puel Hill near Marsden, there must be, I didn't actually count, but there must be more than 15 layers on that painting. Yes, not all over, all at once, but yes, it just builds up and yeah, I think I can honestly say that. Many layers. So it takes a long time.
Ah, yes. So the small pieces that you've got downstairs, the little sort of samples,
yes.
What are they made of? So is that similar? Is it building up with your gravel, your tissues?
Yes, but it's on caddy paper, which is a cotton paper made in South India. And it's people call it a rag paper, I think, and it's very strong. So even when it's covered in plaster of Paris, it doesn't disintegrate, and so and it retains its flexibility as well. So it's quite pleasant to use for that kind of thing. But obviously, some of those have set; they've got different layers on, and they're set quite hard now. But yes, and when you think it's really just a piece of paper, then you can tell how thick the layers are.
Yeah, because some of them are very, very thick, aren't they?
Yes. I do them, and then I put them away, and then when I see them again, I sort of I usually don't like them, so I try to change them to something I do like, and so it goes on. So yes, I could carry on working on them now, but there has to come a point when it's enough.
How long do your paintings take on average?
Well, as you can tell from what I've just said, that really it's quite difficult to answer that. People quite regularly ask that question, and it is difficult unless I were to keep some sort of inventory on the back of work. Every time I work on it, I work between 9:30 and but it doesn't quite work like that. Also, I never work on just one piece at once. I can't do that. As soon as I start working on one piece, I want to try something else, and therefore go to another piece. So I quite often have a number of pieces of work on the go at the same time. So I'm sorry, but I can't. I just can't answer it easily.
What's your favourite part of painting?
Of painting, painting itself. I like starting things. I'm a real starter and hopeless finisher. But my favourite part, generally speaking, during the whole process is those times when you just feel that the painting is painting itself. That there comes a moment when it's like you're a conduit and it just happens. You can't make this process happen, but I have been lucky enough for it to happen to me occasionally, so I keep trying to get there.
So the prints that are in this room particularly, what are these three depicting, if anything in particular, or are they just abstract?
They in fact are, to go back to your first question, they're one of the reasons why I sliced up a piece of clay again, because I had a lot of potential collage material, prints that I'd not liked framed, and the process of monoprinting as well, you produce a lot very quickly. So I wanted to use them because I like the marks that they made, so I was arranging them on the same background, and you doing a lot of them at the same time, and because they're fairly small, they're fairly quick to do. And then I found myself instinctively producing bowl shapes. So I bowl shapes, and the ones downstairs as well are quite bowl shaped as well, and there is a very definite reason for that, because these quarries are certainly a set of quarries, 6 quarries that are in a line on the top of the moor, not far from where I live, and they are and most of these small quarries are bowl shaped. You walk into them and the quarry is there, like straight in front of your face, rising 50-60 feet, so it's quite dramatic. And but you're enclosed, you're going down a narrow track where presumably the horse and carts and the men used to go and do their work, and then this bowl shape. So I wanted, and this sculptural shape fascinated me. So I wanted to. I wasn't allowing myself to make bowls. I just wanted to make bowl shapes because they and this. I would like to say that this as well kind of ties in with the whole female thing. And that's getting me around to some of the words on these pots, because I've started writing words on them. And one phrase in particular is golden, fragile, strong, we are vessels. And it's about the connection between the female body and the earth. So you could sort of say, well, that's it was the power of that kind of message that I was trying to connect with, and that's why I started doing bowl shapes. And then I thought, you know what, why are you not making these? Because, you know, you're drawing them, you're cutting them out, you're printing them.
Everything but.
Just turn them into 3D. But I didn't want to make bowls like for your breakfast. I wanted to make bowl shapes.
Yeah. So not functional. Yeah.
Not functional, no.
What are your printing techniques?
My printing techniques, I've learned it all from Fiona. So my printing techniques, well, I've tried lots of different ones. The ones downstairs and the ones here are mainly monoprints, but I have had a go at lino and etching. I do like etching. It's I like the physicality of etching, and the tactile qualities of actually getting the ink on there and forcing it into the, not forcing it, you know what I mean? Manipulating it. I like that about etching. So that's what I've tried.
What's your favourite piece in this exhibition and why?
My favourite piece?
Yeah.
Okay. I have to say it changes, but at the moment my favourite piece is the one on the other side of that wall, which is a metre square oil painting with some collage on it. And I suppose I must confess the reason I like it, because I feel it's kind of, not that piece is unfinished, but that I want to do more of it, and that's what I've been doing today. And so it's difficult to say why, but that's how I like that one.
Fabulous. Well, that is the end of our questions. You've answered them all brilliantly with such depth, so thank you, Di.